Hi, my name is Kellen, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the background of the United Kingdom and its economy. The United Kingdom has built itself into a nation with the most prominent industrial and imperial power from the early 17th to the late 19th century. By using its global expanse of colonial holdings as markets for its manufactured goods, Great Britain was able to be the leading manufacturer of textiles. To further develop their nation, Britain also took emphasis in developing items such as iron, steel, and railway technologies. Soon enough after the booming of the industrialization came to a slow crawl, the United States was able to take over as the largest global manufacturer. After the eruption of World War I, the economy began to struggle. The nation struggled to finance military expenditures, the monetary system of fixing the values of the currency in terms of gold, which is also known as the gold standard. In efforts to battle this stagnation, Great Britain decided to return to the gold standard, ignoring the need for a real depreciation and the fixed pound at the priority to the pre-war price. After the stock market crash in the U.S. in 1999, which led to the Great Depression, British exports were now valued at half and unemployment surpassed. Not only was the U.S. affected by this crisis, it also arrived in Europe, including Germany and Austria. And by 1933, economist John Maynard Keynes published The Means to Prosperity, which would transform how governments conceptualized the market intervention through fiscal policy.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lamar. Between 1968 and 1971, Britain was hit with high inflation rates. In Exhibit 4 of the case study, it shows us the dramatic increase of inflation, which was roughly from 7% to 27%. The Labour administration was not producing changes that were much needed, so a conservative Prime Minister, Edward Heath, was elected in 1970. The Heath administration tightened monetary and fiscal policies while liberalizing the financial markets by allowing market-established interest rates, but unemployment reached 1 million due to the result of Heath's tight policies. In 1976, a new Prime Minister was elected, James Callaghan. Followed by Callaghan was Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. But her new policies forced the Bank of England to increase interest rates to 17%. If you look at Exhibit 5, it shows us this enormous increase. Expanding over 2 decades, all of the changes and regulations transformed the UK into a global financial center. The two major changes were Thatcher's Big Bang, which targeted centuries-old regulations that hindered the growth, and in 1997, the Blair administration announced the independence of the Bank of England and the creation of a single financial regulator.
Hi there, I'm Omar Nerdin. David Cameron, the leader of the Conservative Party, introduced a flagship policy during the elections called the Big Society. Cameron determined that the government had grown too large, and he realized that they may be one of the reasons why the national debt is growing so big, because they were over-controllably spending. The policy planned to decentralize and localize power by introducing free schools, reducing civil services, among other things. On a different note, George Osborne, one of the leaders of the conservative liberal democratic coalition, tried to create a fiscal plan that would eliminate the UK's national debt. Hopefully. They had budget deficits of 10% and a public debt average of 44%, which is pretty high if you ask me. He announced $40 billion in austerity measures, which made UK spending cuts the biggest they've ever been since World War II. That was a long time ago, friends. However, not everyone liked Osborne's plan, and some workers even unionized to get their point across, which it did. Unemployment rates still rose, though, and debt still continued to build up. It wasn't until 2014 that UK began to see some positive change with an economic growth percentage of 2.8%. Financial services had grown to 4.3% and represented nearly 80% of the GDP. So the recession had decreased a little bit, and more civilians were satisfied, but it took time. George Osborne's plan wasn't the plan that helped the most. It was Cameron's work that really helped UK see some changes.